And now for our feature presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
You're listening to Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. Call in to join the conversation at 646-668-8393.
Welcome to Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. It's the six-man Dean Geronimo in the studio with Mark Lee, and we welcome you to yet another exciting episode of our show. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. It's the six-man Dean Geronimo, and as always, I'm in the studio with my right-hand man, Mark Lee, from NJ to NC, as we do. So, Mark Lee, tell me what's good in your neck of the woods, my brother.
Lovely outside during break time. I was sitting over there at my other job, measurement, and I was just enjoying being outside because, you know, we've had some rain, we've had some other rough weather, but today has been a lovely day. I think temperature somewhere around the 70s or the 80s, so I was enjoying that fine weather outside for a little bit before coming on inside and doing this show, because we do like to inform people about what's going on in the world, but could not resist enjoying some of that nice weather that was happening on the outside out there. So that's what's been going on. We did create a new team for the Jambalaya Soul Sam on last Saturday, so 2 days ago, and it's going to be a very interesting mixture of folks. Out of our team, we've got somebody that works for the bank, so we've got a banker, we've got a teacher, we've got a dental hygienist, and we've got two students from North Carolina A&T. So they definitely came and brought their A game, and they will make up the team for this coming year coming up. There's been some changes in the Poetry Slam world. I don't know that they're going to have, as a matter of fact, I don't think they are going to have a Nationals this year, but they will have Southern Pride, which is the regional. They might have some other competitions that they do regularly. Like I think there's one where it's individual poets and, of course, the women's poet competition. So there will be some poet competitions that they will be attending or have already attended. But in terms of the Nationals, I think they've been going through some shakeups and things of that nature. So that will not be happening. And then on Sunday, you know, I had more than enough share of church services because Christ Central, the church that meets out of Hayti, for Easter Sunday, they had not one, not two, but three services. And I have to do the count of how many people are in the building during that day. So the last service was at about 12:30, and they got done around 2. First one was around 9. So let's say around 9, 10:30, and 12 were the three services. But during that time, not counting people, because you know how we do theater counting, not counting people that get counted twice or 3 times because they were there for all 3 times, they still had approximately somewhere around 800 people walk through the doors of their services and everything. And then Damien did a smaller service with his church, Holy Tabernacle. But there was a whole lot of folks coming through there, regular members of their congregation as well as friends and family. But it was a steady flow of people steadily coming in there on a regular basis. And on a sadder note, we must, you know, give a shout out, and our prayers and thoughts go out to those people that were victimized by the bombs in Sri Lanka. You know, that happened on Easter Sunday as well. They said that more than 200 people were killed and and hundreds more wounded in 9 bombings that rocked churches, luxury hotels, and other sites in Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday. They said that's the deadliest violence the South Asian island country has seen since a bloody civil war ended about a decade ago. So, you know, the world has definitely got some rough places that are going on. I was actually talking to my friend Kaiki, who's a Brazilian musician trained in Brazil, from Brazil, and he was telling me that some of the politics there are almost as bad as some of our politics here. So, you know, we talk about that people that are currently in office, as well as the different sides of the aisles, Democrats, Republicans, and things of that nature. But some of the other countries, they've got some drama as well, because you're telling me that Brazil, apparently they're trying to cut off the age that certain people can be in office. So I think they might be trying to cut them off at like 70 or something like that. And he said some other things that were going on in his government. And but apparently, you know, it might make sense, but then there are some people that might be pocketing some money because it seems like there might be some people that are, in high positions. And I guess that happens with corrupt governments all over the world, whether it's the U.S., whether it's here or wherever. But, some people might be pocketing more than their fair share, and that might be why they have problems with some of their economy as well. And, I've been playing Words with Friends with the various competitors. One of the young ladies that I've been playing is from New Zealand. She's actually a crossword person. She does the crossword puzzles, I believe, for one of their daily newspapers. And I was teasing her. I was like, "You going to move to the U.S.?" And she was like, "Not until y'all get y'all's I's straight." And it took me for a minute to realize what she was talking about. But basically, folks be watching us. And she was in other countries, and she was basically like saying that there's just too much bickering and doesn't seem to be enough positive actions between the Democrats and the Republicans, and just a lot of unnecessary bickering in the minds of some people from other parts of the world. Because she was like, "Not until y'all get y'all's act together." I mean, she's been here to visit. I think she's been to the West Coast. I think she's even been to, like, New York and some of the East Coast areas. But she's like, "I am not moving there until y'all get y'all's act together." So, we always talk about how we're the best thing since sliced bread, but it's interesting to hear from other people's perspective as well.
And when you get that other point of view, you can see your house isn't the way you really thought it was. You know what I mean? Like, it's jacked up, man. We do a lot of things backwards, if you will, and we try to make it seem like everything is all right. And that's why so many people have this perception that we are the best thing since sliced bread, but sometimes we don't even know which type of bread we're eating. You know what I mean? Like, you got the Democrats and Republicans. They're saying the same thing a different way, and it sounds different, but then it's the same exact policy, procedure. There's no way that all this stuff can be passed as law or whatever, and so many people are griping about it. So what do we do in that situation? It starts with the voting. We should be voting some of these individuals out. But when you get comfortable with the same thing, and then people, both parties say the same thing: vote this line, vote that line. And within that line, there may be one or two individuals that are trying to do some positive. Everybody else is doing the same two-step that they've been doing for years. So you get the same thing. They say left wing, right wing, two wings of the same bird. So what does that say?
That's real true. And, I was just checking out that they, speaking of people in this way that other countries are, in Ukraine, they say the comedian whose only political experience consists of playing a president on TV appears like he's headed for a landslide victory in Ukraine's real-life presidential election. So they're saying that this guy that released after exit polls results released after voting stations closed showed sitcom star Volodymyr Zelensky received an extraordinary 73.2%, or nearly 3 out of every 4 votes cast, compared to the current president, Pedro Poroshenko. So, and he only got 25.3. So it looks like folks are tired of what's going on over there, and they're ready to elect somebody that's definitely a new blood and things of that nature. It says it's borne out by election returns. The overwhelming victory by Zelensky would stand as a crushing rebuke to Poroshenko's 5-year in office and a verdict on the country's deep-seated corruption, sickly economy, and 5-year war against Russian-backed separatists in the country's east that has killed over 13,000 people. So it looks like, folks are getting tired of government as is in a lot of places around the world, not just here in the U.S., and they're ready to do things to shake it up a little bit.
Well, that's interesting, and hopefully we can do the same thing here. We have found what happens when you vote. Let me shut up. But anybody that's out there, you got 19 people from the Democratic Party right now that are running for president. That's a lot of folks, man. And when you look at it and you say, you know what, golly, okay, let's start weeding them all out. Just start weeding them out, and they'll start weeding themselves out. By this time next year, we'll have a race of individuals who hopefully it won't be something like it was with the Republican Party, where all of those individuals, and out of all of those individuals, who got the nomination? That was amazing in a ridiculous
Yeah, that was. That was amazing in a ridiculous way.
Like, he beat all of those people out, man. Nah. Somebody got paid off. It was a backroom deal somewhere because this guy is horrible, man. He's horrible. But,
he's absolutely horrible. He's absolutely horrible. I did hear the doorbell ring, but before we get to the doorbell, I also wanted to make a comment on this, that President Donald Trump's lawyer, that lovely guy from New York, Rudy Giuliani, insisted Sunday that the president's 2016 campaign did nothing wrong by taking information from the Russians, as House Democrats pledged stepped-up investigations into campaign misconduct and possible crimes of obstruction detailed in the special counsel's report. So, he's been over there trying to say that he got off and everything on the Mueller report. But I've actually got a friend that's getting ready to do a whole primer on the Mueller report, and he's saying that if you read it, he did not actually get off, that there was a lot of things that were indicated that were done wrong by various people in his party. So, he's thinking that he's skating right now, and he's trying to spin it as a way that he's skating right now, but he might not be out of hot water yet.
Well, the one person that we needed to post the entire report without the redactions and everything just got himself locked up for posting pictures that shouldn't have been there. And if he hadn't gotten kicked out of that embassy, he wouldn't have been arrested right now. But you know what? It'll eventually come out, and everything will come to light. Like they said, what's done in the dark eventually comes to light. It is what it is. Right now, we just need to make it through to next November so we can get the special needs dude out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Absolutely. Like I said, I did hear the doorbell ring. That might be my good friend Dante, and he is a definite activist. So, matter of fact, he just posted and told me that he's on. So I just saw on Facebook, and he definitely said that he is on. So let's bring Dante in, because Dante is one of the best activists I know here in the area.
All right, we're going to bring him in 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, in Straight Talk with Dana Marr. Give us a call. Join the conversation, 646-668-8393.
This is Nikki Hall, founder of Simply Radiant LLC, a woman with great passion and skill to make you look and feel better. Meet me where you are. Let's take it to another level, a new you. See you soon. Call 919-971-6243. Make your place today.
All right.
And while we're at it, before we get to Dante, I do want to give Nikki a shout out and everything, because Nikki is slowly heading into the that 50 part of her life and everything. I believe this one is either 47 or 48, but on this past Saturday, she did celebrate her birthday. I think she went up and hung out with a friend of hers up around Rocky Mountain, and of course she had family members because she is also a mother and a grandmother, so she was hanging out with some of her family members and definitely getting a lot of shout-outs from people on Facebook and friends and acquaintances, but definitely wanted her, since she is part of the Straight Talk family, to know that we wanted to give her a shout-out here as well. So definitely happy birthday to Nikki Hall, who is founder of that company that does a lot of great work with makeup and everything, but we definitely want to give her a birthday shout-out.
That's true. Happy birthday. Mr. Strobino, you are on Straight Talk with Dana Marr. Good evening, sir.
Hey, peace. Good evening. How y'all doing?
Doing good, Dante. Now, Dante is an activist in this area who's been an activist for a number of years. I'm not even sure when I first met Dante. I might have met Dante during Occupy, or it might have been during the Moral Monday stuff. It had to have been way before Moral Mondays, because that's been fairly recent. So, Dante, when did we first meet? But I know that as long as I've known you, you have been an activist in our community, having done work with labor unions, having done work with the Fight for 15, having done work with teachers. So, I mean, you're definitely one of those people that is going to make sure that society does not look over the working class and things of that nature. So I know that you're definitely one of the young lions in our activist community that I greatly admire. So if you want to share when we first met, because I honestly cannot remember, but I know that I've known you now for a number of years, and you have actually also had a life-changing event as well, because while you've been doing all this activist work, you also found your lady love, and have also recently had a child. So you've had a lot of things happening in your life as well.
I appreciate that,